Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're an English language teaching researcher, you know that getting your work published in a Scopus indexed journal like TPLS, Theory and Practice in Language Studies, is a massive milestone. But man, is it competitive. So today, we're going to break down the exact playbook for getting your manuscript accepted in 2026. We're focusing on three core strategies: innovating your topic, rigorous design, and strict policy compliance. Why do these three strategies improve your results? Because they work together as a totally watertight system. Strategy 1 gets the editor's attention. Strategy 2 earns the reviewer's respect. And Strategy 3 stops you from being automatically disqualified on a technicality.
Right off the bat, I want to ground us with this rather stark quote straight from the Publisher Academy publication. No reputable journal can guarantee immediate acceptance. Honestly, it's a great reality check. There are zero shortcuts here. No magic buttons. Editors and reviewers evaluate your work independently, and true quality and genuine originality are your only real metrics for success. So here is our roadmap. Strategy 1, innovate your topic. Strategy 2, rigorous research design. Strategy 3, master submission policies. Then we'll cover the harsh realities of timelines and costs. And finally, how to avoid the rejection pile.
Strategy 1, innovate your topic.
Okay, let's dive into this. Just think about the stark contrast between these two approaches. If you submit a paper simply on general grammar teaching or basic vocabulary learning without a fresh technological or methodological twist, editors are probably going to pass. They've seen it 1,000 times. Contrast that with what journal editors are desperately looking for in 2026, emerging intersections. We're talking generative AI in English writing or mobile-assisted language learning. You really have to combine traditional ELT with contemporary issues to stand out and get through that front door. To be even more specific, these are the absolutely hottest topics in the ELT space right now. ChatGPT's supported academic writing, prompt engineering, AI literacy, teacher digital competence, and flipped classrooms. Notice a trend. Aligning your research with these specific AI, digital, and higher ed intersections significantly boosts your chances of reaching peer review. It immediately tells the editor you're solving today's classroom problems, not yesterday's. Strategy 2, rigorous research design.
Before we get into the science, let's talk about the actual space you have to work with. 4,000 to 8,000 words. That is the strict limit recommended by TPLS, and yes, that absolutely includes your references and appendices. If you format this in the required single-spaced 10-point Times New Roman template, it translates to roughly 12 pages. And no way, you cannot just shrink the margins to sneak in extra words. You have to be incredibly concise. Every single paragraph has to pull its weight. And speaking of making every paragraph count, let's look at the literature review. The journal explicitly expects you to go way beyond just summarizing past work. You have to cite recent, high-quality international studies from just the last 5 to 7 years. Why? To pinpoint a genuine research gap. You need to explicitly tell the reviewer exactly why your specific, brand new study is absolutely necessary right now. So, how do you actually execute that study to earn the reviewer's respect? Well, here are the essential ingredients of your methodology section. You need clearly identified participants and sampling, validated instruments, proof of ethical approval, and reliable analysis. Quick tip on that last point, match your statistical tools directly to your design. Whether you're using independent t-tests, ANOVA, or thematic analysis, just use what fits. Don't throw in advanced math for the sake of looking impressive. Reviewers will see right through that in a heartbeat. Strategy 3, master submission policies. Now, what's really interesting here is the new reality of academic publishing. TPLS updated their AI policy in May 2026, and they enforce it strictly. It is entirely banned to use AI to generate literature reviews, hypotheses, data analysis, or figures. Period. What is permitted? Grammar checking and translation. But, and this is a huge but, you must formally disclose it in a declaration of the use of AI at the end of your manuscript. If you don't disclose it, it's treated straight up as academic misconduct.
And trust me, they will check your work. TPLS uses cross-check and authenticate software to meticulously screen all submissions. They are actively hunting for any overlap or copied paragraphs. So please cite every single borrowed idea and paraphrase appropriately. Submitting duplicate work or failing that similarity check gets you immediately disqualified. It is just not worth the risk.
Timelines and publication costs. Getting published requires serious patience. Walk through this timeline with me real quick. While that initial desk review is fast, taking about 1 to 3 weeks, the rest is a total marathon. Peer review, up to 3 months. If they ask for major revisions, you might need up to 3 months to complete them. It's a grueling process, so managing your own expectations here is vital so you don't get discouraged. The final editorial decision then takes another 2 to 4 weeks on top of all that.
All right, let's break down the 2026 financial costs. Notice that the fees are actually split. There's a $50 submission fee that happens before the review process even begins. That's roughly 4,400 Indian rupees. Then, if your paper goes all the way and gets accepted, you pay the larger publication fee of $1,900, which is about 167,000 rupees. Just remember, exact amounts always depend on current exchange rates.
I also want to add a quick reality check regarding indexing. Yes, TPLS is indexed in Scopus, which is awesome. However, the publisher explicitly states they cannot guarantee exactly when an individual accepted article will actually appear in the Scopus database. Those processing times are totally out of the journal's hands, so you definitely need to expect a bit of a delay there.
Avoiding the rejection pile. Let's look at classic unforced errors. These are the most common reasons editors will toss a manuscript before a peer reviewer ever even lays eyes on it. It's outside the journal's scope, the novelty is weak, the English is poor, there are glaring flaws in the methods, or, and this is wild how often it happens, the author just failed to use the official template. Always check your paper against this list before you hit send. Let's move to and see how this builds if you actually pass that desk review. You reach the final stretch, navigating reviewer feedback. Handling this professionally is the absolute final key to getting published. You'll undergo double-blind peer review. From there, you have to address every single comment individually, revise carefully, and submit a highly detailed response letter outlining your exact changes. Your professionalism here is what secures the win. We've covered the strategies, the costs, and the pitfalls. But I want to leave you with a bigger question to chew on as you prep your next submission. As AI tools literally become inseparable from our writing processes, how will journal editors and the academic community continue to evolve the very definition of original research? It's a fascinating challenge for all of us in higher ed. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and the absolute best of luck with your next ELT submission.